Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next session of From Nothing, Lorna's story. We are going to pick up just a bit after where we left off. You are, you're taking a bath with Anscombe.
I'm freshly bathed.
Yeah, we can skip that part.
Hooray.
But it is the night of, the first night out of the four before your target arrives.
Yup.
So, your time is yours. What do you do?
Um, would I push exhaustion if I continue to work on my
Oh,
scrolls?
yeah.
Okay, well, let's not do that. Let's not go crazy. I've got four more, and each one of them is going to take 3 hours, so it'll be a 12-hour day. So if I start at 6 p.m., sorry, if I start at 6 a.m., I should be finished. I mean, I'll have a break here and there, so like 6 p.m. or 8 p.m., somewhere in that time
I'm
frame.
going to say if you work 9 hours, you will risk exhaustion.
Ugh. Okay, so she'll parse it out and she'll hopefully finish it uh at some point late in the evening
Sure.
tomorrow with breaks intermittently to keep her sanity. So
Okay.
she'll go to bed.
Got it. All right. So you
Is what
go to.
I'm trying to say. She'll start
Understood.
working early tomorrow.
Okay.
She's got
Uh.
a term paper to write basically.
All
There is
right.
something that she would like to do before she goes to bed
Okay.
or like while she's trying to fall asleep.
What would that be?
She would try to talk to Lily for the first time in a hot minute.
Okay.
And she would open that conversation with, uh, Lily, are you sleeping?
It takes a moment, but then you hear, no.
How have you been? I know we haven't really had a one-on-one in a minute. There's been a lot going on and I didn't want to really stress you out.
I have been introspective. Did you
Have
need a
you
thing?
Yeah, I was wondering one if if anything you remembered anything in particular that you wanted to share, or I did have a specific question I wanted to ask, but I thought maybe I'd open it broadly.
I've remembered many things, some of them pleasant, some of them not. I think I have gained enough control over my emotions that as these memories come back to me, I don't drop them on you.
I mean, I wouldn't, unless I'm doing something really important, like fighting for my life, I wouldn't really mind if you wanted to share.
They are not things that anyone would want to share.
That bad?
Some of them, yes.
What's the baddest?
Lorna,
Yeah,
that's not a thing you want.
you don't know that.
I do.
I still want to know.
I don't wish to share it with you.
A burden shared is a burden halved.
I don't believe that is the case in our particular situation.
What if I rolled a persuasion check?
Unfortunately, Lorna, there are some things that cannot be mechanically persuaded.
Right. Okay, I guess I'll go to the specific thing I wanted to ask you about. Um, I did some research on Nightwalkers today,
Hmm?
and I learned about Lorix.
Ah.
And I was wondering how did you end up in his path in the first place? Or how did he end up in yours? If you remember, of course.
Well, first and foremost, are you sure you want to know?
Yes.
There is a long pause, as it seems as though she's considering it. And she says, very well. What do you recall of my first exodus from the Underdark?
That you had this plan to escape. I guess maybe like faking your own death, but you actually died, and I don't know if that was on purpose or not. To, I guess, maybe prevent them from trying to come after you.
Yes. So, this is a thing that makes sense to me now. We were not aware that the gods were isolated from us. We assumed they were dead or just silent. When we made our decisions, we thought they still had power. So, when I chose to die, I assumed my soul would be at least safeguarded, in a sense. Do you know how reincarnation works?
The druid instructor at the Marigard kind of explained it to me. It's natural magic. It doesn't rely on the divines.
Right. But there's more to it than that. Do you understand the basics of the spell?
You need some physical piece of the person you want to bring back. It doesn't have to be the whole thing like it does with other revival spells, like
Right.
hair, blood.
That piece acts as an anchor, and also as a bit of a tunnel. The original idea is that when the soul is in the afterlife, that piece of who they were allows the natural magics to reach out to them wherever they are, in whatever plane they are, and beckon them back. Once the natural magics have found the form, they create a new one for that spirit to enter, using the piece as a bit of a temporary heart or core of the new form. With the knowledge that the gods were separated, and the result being likely that all of the dead souls and spirits were stuck within the prime material, that means when I died, my spirit was floating about over Amaranth somewhere. Very easy for the reincarnation spell to find me, however, very easy for other entities to find me as well. One of the things that I remembered was an experiment performed by Toloi. You remember him?
Yeah, the puppet master.
He was not the leader of the followers of the star, but he was an important one. And I bring him up because one of his experiments was, upon persuading Nightwalkers. Planar travel, particularly during the War of the Dead, was dangerous, clumsy, and frankly, in most cases, not worth it. However, when one decides that they are going to pull something from the negative energy planes, it is... Well, the onus is no longer on the person who's trying to go there, but instead on the creature that's being brought from there. And there are few things in this world quite as destructive as the rage of a Nightwalker. Lucius Toloi performed an experiment where he created a one-sided gate using the Mythalar. A Nightwalker could be forced through for a short period of time and then ejected by the same spell. The Mythalar that was connected to these spells was destroyed much later. I consider that a blessing. Because once a spell is cast using a Mythalar, the Mythalar never forgets. It is inscribed upon its surface permanently for all to see. When I died, and I was brought back, my spirit was out in the atmosphere? The spiritual sphere? It wasn't the ethereal plane. I'm not really sure what it was when there wasn't a deity to guide them, so your guess is as good as mine. But one of the things that most attracts Nightwalkers to the prime material plane are dead spirits. So all of this explanation has come to answering your question in this very roundabout way, but gets directly to the point. Lucifax was directly beneath a city. I'm sure you're aware of the Drow's knack for summoning demons.
Oh, yes.
It was considered a very valuable skill. Should you be able to capture and control demons, you were thought to be a very powerful summoner, and you'd earn respect, even if you were a male. Granted, you would never be granted the same sort of responsibilities and honor as a female, but there are mistakes made in every culture. That being said, have you heard of a town named Bokern's Hollow?
Boken's Hollow. Have I?
Bokern.
Bokerns.
Roll a history check.
Okay. 1 second, I need to reconnect my VTT.
Oh, take your time.
Damn you. History, you said?
Yes.
Ooh, good. 25.
Yeah. You have heard of Bokern's Hollow. It was one of the
Oh, yeah.
oldest and biggest cities that was completely wiped off the face of Ceres during the War of the Dead.
Is that what Lucifax was under?
Yes. It was prime territory for recovering slaves. It
So
is...
if they escaped Lucifax, they'd find their way to Bokerns Hollow because it was so close.
That was commonly the case. However, they did not lose slaves often. We had many...
How would they get there if they didn't escape?
To Bokern's Hollow?
Uh-huh.
They didn't.
Oh.
You misunderstood me.
I guess.
We would send raiders to Bokern's Hollow to capture those who we thought controllable and easy to secrete away.
Oh.
It is where Malcolm was taken.
You thought he was easy. Maybe not you, but he was thought to be.
He was thought to be useful.
Was he?
Well, to me, very much so. He was a man of many talents. He once explained that he was in Belkin's Hollow entirely in an attempt to try and replenish the farmland around the city as it had been scorched by the war. Well, one of his greatest regrets, and mine as well, early on in the war, it was revealed to us. Well, it wasn't revealed to us. We noticed Nightwalkers coming together and attacking places. And Nightwalkers are extremely difficult to banish, as you've seen.
Mm-hmm.
They require concerted efforts by forces much more than they are. Generally on multiple sides and with both magic and martial capabilities, and it is never without casualty. Their enervating aura alone is responsible for the deaths of many. Belkin's Hollow is one of the first casualties of the war by Nightwalkers entirely because 3 of them grouped on the city.
Mm-hmm.
Brought it to rubble. All of those souls, hundreds of thousands of lives, were lost in a very short period of time. And even though the appetites of Nightwalkers is voracious, there is simply no physical way they could collect, capture, and consume all of them. Which means ever since that event, Nightwalkers were drawn to the prime material, not entirely because of the efforts of summoners, but because of the amount of just souls lost in a drift. We didn't know this. I didn't know this until, well, your studies. When you showed me the gods were unavailable, had no power, they were segregated from this world, and everything started to come into place. Feeling responsible for this, Malcolm and I spent a lot of time trying to predict the next Nightwalker incursion. Malcolm took it as a personal affront because of the number of friends and family he lost in Belkin's Hollow. They had spent years searching for him after my clan captured him. He says I should never feel guilty about that, as I saved him from a life that was boring.
Boring.
I think perhaps boring is better in some alternatives. Anyway, in our pursuits of trying to find the Nightwalkers and where they might be, and we might be able to raise an alarm early for the martial forces of the area, we found one. I think you know the one.
Yeah.
I was powerful. Malcolm was skilled. We had many friends capable of fighting with a durability, strong enough to withstand the enervating aura long enough. Long enough to have a conversation with Lorax. I didn't know what he meant at the time. I didn't know what he meant for centuries. I didn't know what he meant until your studies, which revealed to me the gods were gone. We managed to ask Lorax a question. Malcolm asked him why he kept returning. Why here? Why over and over, and why were they working together? Lorex said, in a language that I didn't speak at the time, but we managed to record it. Have you not heard of a feeding frenzy? None
No.
are here to save you. None are here to protect you. And so you will perish like the weaklings you are.
Oh. It's as simple as that.
So it would seem the Nightwalkers were rejoicing on the missing gods by tearing through into our world and eating our dead, making new ones. Which brings me back to that experiment with Lucius Toloi, where he was attempting to bring in a Nightwalker of his own accord and one to use. Should he have been a drow, this would have been a remarkably impressive and ambitious summoning attempt. One that would have been lauded by all the houses for years to come, should he have been successful. But also one that he would have been, well, torn from limb to limb, should it fail. And it did fail. He did bring a Nightwalker into our plane. The gate spell worked. But as far as I know, the Nightwalker he brought in never had to leave, as it was torn into our world, intentionally, instead of forcing its way through the veil. Which makes me worry it might still be here.
Centuries have passed since then.
Yes.
Wouldn't its devastation make itself apparent? Why would it wait?
What I'm concerned about is the intelligence of these monsters. It would be aware of the consequences of its actions. It would be aware of its impact upon the world. Maybe when the Divines returned, they cleansed it from this plane. But if they didn't, it might be hiding somewhere. Somewhere dark, dangerous, where it can sip upon the life force of those around it without them even knowing, if it got free.
Would it be satisfied maintaining that kind of life?
If it was brought into this plane willingly by a creature of this plane, it would not be forced to suffer the sanity-draining madness that applies to all Nightwalkers when they enter this plane, as well as any other creature from the negative energy plane. That happens to every creature that's forced here. They are driven to agony. It's why they can never last.
What is this? Did you know the specific Nightwalker's name? What do they specifically have to do with you and Malcolm?
I bring it up because I think you know the name of this Nightwalker.
It was Lorex?
Yes. His name was inscribed on the Mythalar when I saw it.
What happened after he was summoned? I mean, did that lead you? Sorry, I'm understanding now. That led you to the moment where you questioned him.
Yes.
What happened after that? After the question was asked?
No. Malcolm was the one who asked Lorex the question.
Right, but you were with him.
Yes, but this was years before I ever worked with the Followers of the Star.
Okay.
What I know about the experiment. A pact was created between Toloi and this Nightwalker. One of mutual benefit, I assume. It sounded, or rather, it read to me as though Lorix would go where Toloi wanted him, and in return, Toloi would not get in his way. I don't know how that agreement ended, which is why I'm concerned. Lorix might still be on our plane. The Mythalar was destroyed, but the spell was already cast before it had been. The scar was created in a magical, devastating explosion, and my only hope is that Lorix was nearby when it did.
And to your knowledge, Toloi is dead.
Yes. From what I know, Toloi was slain at the hands of Ceresian soldiers.
But that wouldn't have any bearing on Lorix's access to the Primaterial plane.
No, once he's
That was just
already...
an arrangement that he benefited from.
Yes.
At what point then did Malcolm fall?
The next time we found Lorix, after our conversation. We and our allies, a group of Silver Regalia, soldiers of elite repute from Silver's Reach, were pursuing where we thought there might be another Nightwalker incursion near the town of Port Refuge.
Mm-hmm.
He surged up from the ground beneath us. We fought. I almost died. Many of the Silver Regalia did die. As we were trying to call off the retreat, I grabbed Malcolm. I had his hand in mine. I wove the somatics and stepped forward for Dimension Door. My attention was on the spell, and when I finished it, I turned to pull him through. I didn't hear it or feel it. I don't know. Lorix took him at the forearm. His hand was still in mine.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yes. I watched from 200 feet away. As that wicked creature laughed at me and consumed him.
What happened after that?
I was a fool. I teleported back. I tried to bring every lesson I'd learned down on that monster's head, but I had already spent most of my powerful magics. There wasn't much left. I pushed myself too far. I brought a firestorm down on Lorix's head. But the expenditure was beyond me. Do you know what happens when you go beyond your physical means to cast a spell?
No. I thought you just couldn't cast magic anymore.
The mind is a powerful thing. If you no longer have the energy to cast a spell, and you decide to force your limits, the weave will still take the energy from somewhere. And in that moment, I didn't care. I understood. When I chose to cast that spell, I didn't care if I lived or died. He took him from me. I like to think that spell banished Lorex from the ground where he stood. I can't think of another reason why I would have lived beyond that moment otherwise.
What happened to you?
It is the same thing medically as exsanguination. I was told the only reason I lived was one of our allies was a druid of the same grove as Malcolm and had powerful regeneration magics. But I put my whole life into a meteor and dropped it on him. And in that moment, I fell unconscious. The agony was unbearable. I don't remember a lot around that specific moment, but I remember watching the meteor swarm crash into Lorix. It was a beautiful explosion. I don't regret it for a moment. I woke up in a nomadic camp. I believe it was along the heatheral pathways of the Sishan Desert. That is when Lorix died. Or not Lorix. Malcolm died.
You think that last spell you cast could have destroyed him, or he could still be alive, potentially?
Yes.
Thank you for telling me that. I know that was really hard.
You deserve to know. If anyone deserves to know, it's you. You've brought so much to light that cleared up so many confusions, and you've worked so hard. There's nothing I can do but be as honest with you as possible.
And I'm still not done. We know where he is, sort of.
He just deserves to rest.
You're right. He does. And so do you.
That would be nice. Though, let's be honest with each other and realize I will not be resting in the same place as him.
We don't know that yet.
You don't kill as many people as I have and get to spend your days on Mount Celestia.
I'll make it work. I mean it.
I respect your ambitions.
I get that from
mine.
you.
Yeah.
You're right, so don't doubt me.
It's not you I'm concerned about, it's myself.
Well, don't think about it.
There's not much else to do here but think.
You can think about the stupid assassination I'm going to try to do in a couple days.
I didn't catch everything about that, but it did sound as though you were going for a shock attempt.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I need to catch up to your kill count, you know.
No, you do not.
I'll keep it possible anyways.
I need to warn you about one thing.
Sure.
You've taken a pact to thwart a contract with another devil.
I was hoping you wouldn't bring that up, but go on.
There is a thing that devils count on that we mortals seem to forget.
What's that?
We don't live forever.
You've made a pretty good run of it.
Hushen is going to try and collect his revenge.
Really?
Yes.
Shit. Is he more of a threat, the same amount of threat, or less of a threat than the Master? What do you think?
Well, the Master is mortal.
Right, I can just kill her.
Hushen is both a devil and one who has many connections and bonds across this plane. You will need to either satisfy his rage or avoid that inevitable.
Just keep not being murdered by him?
I doubt he will attempt anything whilst you are under the employ of your new contractor.
I guess I just have to stay there, because he let me use the Arcanium and you didn't, make a big deal out of it, which was nice.
I do not suspect a devil like Hushen is impatient enough to do something whilst you are alive.
Oh. What does that mean?
Lorna.
Pretend I'm stupid.
Hushen is a devil of the Hells, one of knowledge.
Uh-huh.
He's not so high-ranking as a prince, but he is powerful. In your afterlife, there is nothing that will keep you safe from a devil.
What if I was somewhere nice?
There are still ways.
Lorna does briefly think back to the time that Hushen was with Lily when they ripped souls out of Celestia, and she cringes a little bit.
My recommendation to you, especially now that the Divines are back and seem to really be quite aggressive in their efforts, find one that would be interested in protecting you. One that doesn't like devils, preferably.
A pact with the devil.
All right.
Wouldn't that go against their...
Perhaps find one more on the edge, then.
Okay. What if... Now, feel free to tell me if this is dumb.
I will.
I know you will. I usurp Hushen's position, kill him, and take over.
Oh.
Wouldn't I make a great devil of knowledge?
The first step to being a devil is the torment of the Hells.
Oh.
It
You
is.
kind of lost me at the word torment.
It is also not of being a powerful devil. It is of being a lemur, which is a
Oh.
soul bound to the horrible bottom of the hells.
I have to start there?
Of course you do. All devils do.
I don't get to be promoted?
No,
Are you saying that Vicar was like that once?
princes are different.
Well, then I should be a princess.
That's not a choice.
Ah!
I am not the most educated in the hierarchy of the nine hells. Perhaps you should have a conversation with that other voice in your head.
Which one? Requiem's? Saccharin's? Yours or Vicar? I imagine Vicar.
Perhaps the devil.
Yeah. Yeah. I just thought that'd be kind of cool. I could be like a succubus.
I don't think that's something you want. Also, those are demons.
I don't know anything.
Succubi and incubi are demons. They just are the only demons that are capable of working with devils to an extent.
Oh. Okay, well, not that. Okay. Maybe find a god.
Maybe.
Luminos was really nice.
That's pleasant.
I got my rite of contrition for the grove that we're going to see soon. We're going to visit.
Thank you for doing that.
I'm glad to, as long as I don't die in the process. Because I think they're going to be upset.
They will be.
Initially.
I did not take it well.
Right. Thanks for hashing this out with me. And I learned a lot. Thank you.
I just hope it helps.
Everything does.
Right. Well, I'm going to ruminate some more, I suppose.
If you have anything interesting, I would like to hear it, as long as I'm not fighting for my life, as I said.
I'll keep that in mind. Good night,
Good night,
Lorna.
Lily. We're starting to blend.
It's a concern.
Yeah.
And Lily is quiet after that.
Lorna was probably like tossing and turning. And she was like, you know how when you're like on the phone with somebody and you just kind of like walk around your whole house? She was communicating mentally, so she's just flipping over and like stretching and bapping Anscombe in the face with limbs, I'm sure.
All right, now you hang up.
I knew you hang up.
Lily does.
Oh. Okay.
So do you go and take a long rest?
Yes, she does.
Roll me a wisdom save.
Okay. 18. Not a bad roll.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Insight check the DM?
Go ahead.
Can I? I rolled. That's a 25.
I told you not to worry about
Ah!
it. As you awaken the next day, you can go ahead and take a long rest.
Hooray.
You feel remarkably secure in this room.
What a nice, rare feeling.
Yeah. The magical barriers seem to do their job, and you feel completely unobserved. What do you do?
Lorna will, like, at 6 a.m., she just, whacks Anscombe on the chest. We've got to get to work. Got a long day.
5 more minutes.
Oh my God, so where have I heard this before? She will politely request someone in the party to go to the tram station to the north of the city to confirm exactly what time the evening tram in 4 days, or 3 days, I guess now, is supposed to arrive.
Choose your NPC.
Choose your fighter. Nore. Because she's a good talker.
Okay.
Like, if anyone's like, "You're acting suspicious, inquiring about tram schedules," she'll be like, "How is that
Okay.
suspicious?" And they'll be like, "Oh, right, that makes perfect sense."
We're gonna then do a quick little vignette a little bit as
Oh,
Nore goes to the Silver Express station. Uh, one moment here.
she's gonna scope it out too, pinpoint where like we could be tucked up and still within range of the arriving tram.
Okay, good to know. Let me go ahead and place Nore. Okay. It
There
takes
she
Nore
is.
it takes Nore maybe like 30 minutes to get to the Silver Express tram station, and it is busy as all hell. Uh, Nore does a pretty good job of navigating crowds regardless, her natural charisma and also her just kind of very intimidating attitude all the time. No one gets in her way, really. Go ahead and roll me a d20. This is going to be a perception roll for Nore. I have her sheet open here.
Okay. I rolled an 11.
That's a 14 total. Nore takes a look around the tram station, and she's scoping it for, well, like you said, places where they can be a little discreet, but also keep an eye on what's happening and when their target appears.
Hmm.
It looks as though the tram station is, as you see in the image, it has two railways passing through the center of it. There are a number of vendors along the edge of this platform where it is easy to enter and exit the Silver Express. These vendors all seem to be selling all sorts of wares, from knickknacks to trinkets to actual like artificing gadgetry. One of them, one of the gadgetry vendors, who looks like they're selling, for lack of better words, just noisy objects.
Great.
Yeah, literally
Give
like
them to your toddler.
it
Put them on a
looks.
train.
Yeah, it looks like little toys, basically, or clockwork devices that seem to have various purposes. And Nori like glances over them all, and she finds like a small model of the tram,
Cute.
with a little whistle that every few minutes just goes like very
Oh,
loudly. And that is
take
just,
the batteries out.
yeah. Well, there is a key in the back of it that slowly is turning. That seems to be powering its little clockwork mechanism. This trinket stall is pretty wide, but it has like these two wings to it, where like there's almost like nooks on the side of it.
Hmm.
And Nori like slips into one, and she like takes a look around. She seems pleased with the vantage point that it gives, and so long as one can kind of mentally separate the noise created by all these trinkets, this seems like the perfect place for people to not be noticed.
Hmm.
Okay, I need you to roll me an investigation check for Nore.
Okay.
So another d20.
18.
Okay, that is a 23.
Nice.
Nori begins searching around the platform informations for schedules or any sort of paper that seems to describe what the tram schedule is. And she learns a few things. There's a lot more locations on the Silver Express's like tramway than one might first have thought. Like Quarterstone is one of them, but there's also like lots of small towns and villages the railway seems to pass through. And some of them are labeled freight. Like there's no people being
Yeah.
transported there. It's entirely just for trade. She makes a note of that. She learns, with a 25, or no, a 23, sorry.
Hmm.
Your target, the tram that is most likely to be when your target is arriving, from Quarterstone, it's either coming in at like 11 a.m. or 4 p.m.
Vicar said the evening or closer to the end of the day.
So,
Does that make reasonable sense? That it would be the 4 p.m. one?
yeah, it does.
Okay. That one.
Okay. What else do you want Nori to do while she's here?
Got the schedule. She's found a nook.
Yeah.
Um, we know for certain that Skulna is going to be ganking the guy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she doesn't need help finding a nook to hide in. And Anscombe will be disguised as a rando on the platform already, so he doesn't need to hide. So finding two, three, there's 6 people in my group now. Four spots to kind of like be innocuous. I guess it's more important for Lorna and Tier to have tucked away spots because they're actively going to be casting magic.
Right.
Norre and Lilith are going to be there for support potentially, but they don't have an active role in ensuring that the hit goes down other than being there. So crucially, they could just be standing there. Crucially, Lorna and Tier need spots to tuck away into. She found one, so another would be great.
Okay. The one that she found, uh, Nori believes would be best for someone who's really bad at stealth, or like has pretty good perception, but
That'd be Lorna.
yeah, basically she thinks.
Did you restart the recording?
Yeah,
Okay, just checking.
trust me.
I trust you.
Um,
Totally. So the one next to the whistly doos,
yeah, the
Lorna
one by
will.
the trinket vendor
That's Lorna's.
is Lorna's spot probably.
She has the mental fortitude to block that out, and isn't super great at stealth, so I think that would be the good spot for her.
Now for Tier's spot, who needs to also cast a spell, I might need to be a little bit closer to the tram. Go ahead and roll me another perception. So roll me a d20.
Not as good. 5.
Nori walks around for quite a while. Roll me another d20. This is
This is for her being subtle.
15.
15.
One of the basically the conductors sees Nori basically just scoping the place. She with okay, hold on. Okay, with a 26.
Nice.
The conductor's like, "Excuse me, what are you doing here?" And Nora just looks at him. "None of your fucking business." And the conductor just seems was not expecting that aggressive a response. And
Okay.
Right, carry on. And he just keeps walking down the platform.
Love it. God, I wish I had that energy, or even a fraction of that energy.
She rolled a 26 on intimidation because that is how Nore rolls.
Literally.
Okay. Roll me another perception check. So roll me another d20.
That's a natural one.
Nora gets distracted.
Busy. The platform is filling up with people.
Yeah, basically. I need you to roll me another d20.
Well, luckily the spot she found, the good spot is for Lorna, who has bad stealth, and Tier has good stealth, probably as a ranger. I rolled an 11.
Okay. As she's kind of basically she's staring at what looks like a cigar vendor, and she just looks like she's just looking. She's not buying anything. A city guardsman's walking by, and he just says, "You're not thinking of taking anything, are you?"
Rude.
Nore glances over at the guard, and she says, "If I was, I'd do it right in front of you, wouldn't I?" And the guard was like, "Excuse me, what's that supposed to mean?"
God.
And Nore says, "Oh, nothing. Just that fuck all you could do about it, isn't there?"
Shit.
And the guard says, "You what? If you stole something right in front of me, could say I paid for it, didn't I?" And like the cigar vendor is like looking over at these two, and he just says, "Would you like a cigar?" And Nore says, "Oh, you're a darling. I'd love one." And then I need you to roll me another d20.
Oh God. Natural 20.
Okay. Uh, you nat 20 the persuasion. The cigar vendor's like, "This one's on the house, dearie." And the guard's just like, "Oh,
For
bugger
her
this."
being profiled by this fucking
Yeah,
guy.
literally. The guard just like, "Oh, bugger this." And he just like walks off as Nore lights a cigar and says,
God, she's cool.
"Thank you kindly."
Ugh.
So she
I feel
buys
like
some
Nora
time.
when I grow up.
I need you to roll another d20 for me, please.
If she can't find it by this time, she would be like, fuck this place. Up. Great roll. 18.
Yeah. Basically, after she walks off with a free cigar, she looks up by the tram, and she couldn't see it earlier, but now that people have kind of shifted, she sees there is a clothing vendor, which has all sorts of racks of clothes that are nice and quiet, but also block vision extremely well, right out in front of it. She just kind of like puffs in her cigar, clocks that, makes a measure of where it is compared to the trinket vendor, nods, and begins heading towards the door.
Fantastic. Okay, we got our 2 hideaways, our tram schedule, a potential plan coming together. Fantastic.
Okay, so we jump back to you.
Lorna has been driving Anscombe, running him ragged to help get these scrolls done.
Running him ragged. Okay.
He said he'd help.
Roll me Arcana.
Do I get advantage because Anscombe's helping?
Yes.
Woo!
Whether you run him ragged or not, he's still helping you.
Oh, I didn't roll great. 15, but I know the DC's a 13, so hooray,
You
hooray.
succeed. Yeah. This scroll, it's not one of your better ones. Um, it'll work.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that really matters. You had the issue where your hand kept dragging ink every time you were writing. So you keep on like having to dab cloth over it to get all the loose ink off. It's a frustrating effort. And as you're working, Anscombe like is not helping as he glances up and he's like, is that part of it?
No, I know what's happening, Anscombe. That's definitely not supposed to be there.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Anyway. Okay, so your first scroll for the morning, it starts off well. I need you to roll me another Arcana check.
Natural 20 for a 28.
Yeah.
She was really determined not to look like a fool in front of him again, so she perfects this one.
you got like a proper posture. You're like sitting upright, so your hand is no longer pulling ink across the sheet, and you only need one more for this particular scroll.
Ooh. 25.
This scroll of Lorna's Guise of the Golub. Excuse me. Goodness gracious.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. This one comes out perfectly well.
Woohoo! So that's 2.
2 completed scrolls. It is at this point that Nore returns and she reports in. Found a couple good spots, and she still has like the butt of a cigar in her mouth.
That smells nice.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Kind fellow offered it to me.
Huh. Must have left quite the impression.
Anyway.
Thank you for your hard work.
Of course. I think your best spot's going to be by a trinket stall. They have all sorts of noisy gadgetry, but it's going to hide you really well.
Great.
It's Whizbits is what it was called.
Okay.
And then Tiare found a spot for you up closer to the tram. It's a vendor of clothing or a tailor. It was just called Molly's. So, and Tyr just goes, "All right, that'll do. Maybe Molly's cute."
Uh, we're doing something terrible there. Please don't leave an impression on anyone working there.
Right, I forgot all about that.
Yeah, the whole point of that. Right. Lorna will continue working. Obviously her party members can do as they please, as long as Lilith stays put. Well, I still don't have a
Lilith is like
disguise.
asleep.
Yeah, she seemed very keen on relaxing for the next day or two. So,
Yeah.
man, I would love that.
Okay, so the first spell scroll in Nore's report has taken you basically to lunchtime.
Uh-huh.
And it's the second day. You have the rest of the day ahead of you. What do you do?
Well, first, she is going to, as she's pulling out the stuff to make the third scroll,
Uh-huh.
a thought comes to her, and she's like, "Oh shit, I should probably double check." So she is going to think, "Vicar, I have a fairly important question for you, as pertaining to this job."
There is a moment's pause, and then you hear, "You have my attention."
The whole point of this is to commend this person's soul to you for their indiscretion.
Yes.
Can I do that if I'm not the one dealing the killing blow?
Yes.
As long as it's at the time of passing and I say I commend this soul to Vicar, it's fine.
If it is someone working in accordance with you, it matters. So if it is one of your allies, that is good enough.
Fantastic. I just realized I should know if that was feasible before I did this whole thing and failed the most important part.
Think of it as you and your allies are telling the Devas where it's going to go.
Feels weird to have that kind of power.
That is the advantages of being a warlock.
Right. Thank you for your answer.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Not immediately.
And you feel like a presence just diminishes.
Right. She gets to work on her third scroll.
Okay. Ansem sees you pull out the next parchment, and he like goes, "All right. Okay.
Yep. You signed up for this by taking on magic.
You're right.
And me.
Worth it." And he sits back down. I mean, how else could I? And he just like holds his hand up, and a sword appears in his hands. And he's like, "Get away with this all the time."
That's pretty cool.
Like, check this out. And he like lets go of it, and right before it hits the surface of the table, it like just disappears.
She'll do like a polite little clap.
Thank you. Thank you. Of course, that means I can't ever throw it at anyone, but it's still useful.
You've got other things to throw.
You're darn
Even
right.
people.
Well, I guess.
You should throw me sometime.
I have. Oh, you mean at someone?
Okay. She pushes the parchment closer to him. Pick up your quill or your pen. We have pens. We're not barbarians.
I mean, I have pencils.
That too.
Right.
She
He
gets to work
picks up
before
a fountain
he
pen and
makes
gets to work.
anything. Any other sexy comments?
I just realized, I don't think I've ever clarified this for everybody. In Amaranth, fountain pens are the standard. Because they are durable, they're simple to make, and they work. And also, quills are not durable, they're not simple to make, and they are complicated.
You did say that Tabernac uses quills because
Yes, he does.
he's extra.
Yeah, using a quill is basically being extra. Like,
Nice.
if you see someone using a quill, you're like, okay.
Okay. All right, calm down.
Unless it's a magical quill, then usually they have some other things about them. But for the
Right.
most part, quills are like, jeez. All right, settle down.
Get a load of this guy over here.
Exactly. All right, go ahead and roll me an Arcana as you start this
Okay.
next spell scroll.
Oh my god, terrible! 12!
Your spell scroll is scrap paper.
No!
As soon as you start, it's like it's not going well immediately. In the first hour, you're inscribing these runes, and then you realize you're on the wrong page of your spellbook.
I choose to flavor this as Anscombe's saucy little joke has Lorna in her own head. And she's more preoccupied with what that meant than what the actual work in front of her is. And by the time she like realizes that she's not focused, she's like, "Fuck!" And she like looks up from the crumpled paper in her like little ceramic hand, and she just glares at Anscombe and she says, "This is your fault."
Do you want to take a break? We literally
No.
have a room.
Wait. What are you implying?
I mean, you look a little flustered. We could take a break.
Yes.
Okay. We fade to
And-
black.
They come back. She looks at her party and she says, "Okay, so I kind of fucked up one of these. So I'll only have 4 with the supplies that you got me."
Tierra, like, glances at Anscombe and he's like, oh, you did.
Focus. Which is what I'm trying to do.
Perfectly well focused, alright.
So, do you think, why would any of you know this? Why am I even asking you? I was going to ask, do you guys think that the 4 of these will be enough to cover our expenses? But why the fuck would you know that? So I'm just going to do it and hope.
Alright.
Good talk. He sits back down.
Yeah,
she's
Tears like
really...
looks up from his book. He's like, whatever.
She sits down with her work and she's really determined to focus this time. She's even
Okay.
looking at Anscombe.
Like, you're completely like avoiding Anscombe, and Anscombe's like, alright, so where are we starting?
I need to focus.
Okay. I'm trying to help.
I know.
I'll hold the light.
Thanks. She'll roll again.
Okay. You still have advantage, by the way.
I know. I rolled with advantage last time.
I know.
21.
I'm
I rolled a
just
2 and a
saying.
4.
Alright. 21.
Oh, no, but yes. 21
This
is what I
one
rolled.
is
now.
off to a much better start.
She thinks clean thoughts.
The first stage of the spell scroll, you get the foundation down. You're confident this one is off to a much better start. Roll me another one.
27. She's as zen as Buddha.
Yeah. The spell scroll is as good as one you've ever made before. It's coming out exactly right.
Final roll.
One more roll.
Did I waste all 3 hours on that
No.
one I ruined? Because I started it and I fucked it up.
You wasted 1 hour.
That's good. Good.
So each of these rolls represents an hour of
Yes.
spell writing.
That makes sense. I rolled another 27.
Okay. This
Great scroll.
Yeah. This scroll of Lorna's Guise of the Golem looks like it's straight out of a textbook.
Yes. She looks very proud of herself.
Anscombe like
Upon
looks at
wrapping
it. And he's like,
The brick was a good idea.
I thought it might be, but I didn't think that looks professional. Well done.
She just tosses her hair over her shoulder.
Right.
Okay, one more.
One more today.
It's the last one. But
Oh.
fucked up.
Right.
Yeah. I cut our time in half by ruining one of them. Well, I didn't cut it in half, but I minimized it. So
Okay, this is the third spell scroll you're gonna make in a day.
Yeah. They
Okay,
did have a break.
doesn't matter. I need you to make a
Okay.
con save.
Heck. Do we have a paladin in the group? If not, we should.
No, you don't.
Damn it, Lilith should have been a paladin. I rolled an 18. I'm fine.
Lilith just holds up a middle finger.
On the couch.
Yeah. Uh. Okay. You are fine for now. Roll me an Arcana check.
Dirty 20.
Okay. Starts off strong. Roll me another Constitution saving throw.
Less good. 8.
8?
Flagging a bit. Yeah, me.
You cannot continue.
Fuck.
You just feel like
She's falling asleep at the table.
you're literally exhausted. Like, you don't actually take an exhaustion point, but you cannot finish the spell scroll today.
At one point,
You've run out of
Anscombe like
spoons.
shakes her shoulder, and she realizes that her head was like on the table.
Hey, why don't we take it easy? Huh? We've really been hitting it hard. Just
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
I feel bad about messing up that scroll, and I wanted to overcompensate, and now I'm sleepy.
it's all good. Why don't we get some food in us? Maybe go. Well, maybe we can get some entertainment down. We are in a tavern, right? We can play cards
We
or see what's going on.
Leave if it's only an hour.
Okay.
I mean, I can leave if it's only. We might be. Let me go just take a walk down the street and get some street food.
That sounds like a plan.
Who should I turn into?
That's a weird question.
I mean, who should I look like? What should I look like? If you had to tweak anything about me, what would you change?
He, like, looks a little confused.
This is one of those, like, trap questions
Yeah,
that girlfriends
he's like,
ask.
What if you became, like, something weird, like a Triton? Something that you wouldn't see around here.
Oh, I saw that Triton student. I don't know what her name is, but I think she hit you with a staff once.
Wash.
Yes. I watched her spar match.
She doesn't talk much.
Well, I mean, I don't speak primordial, so probably shouldn't talk much either. It's fine. She's gonna turn into it's alter self, so she physically does change. It's not just a disguise. She's going to turn into a Triton, Lorna.
Like, Anscombe, like, looks impressed, and he, like, reaches up and touches the ear
With
fins.
my little frill.
Yeah. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, right? I have gills.
Can you breathe underwater like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or taking another bath.
I'm tempted.
We have an hour, so let's go hustle on the street food.
Right. So you and Anscombe, do you bring anybody else?
If they want to come. Anybody but Lilith.
Yeah, Lilith looks up and she says,
We'll take her
"Have
order.
fun. I want a kebab."
Okay.
But everybody else comes because everybody's getting a little stir crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
How far did Golna get in that Memoirs of a Goblin Courtesan?
roll investigation.
Okay. Investigation. Terrible. 12.
She's like halfway through.
Okay. Does it seem like she's enjoying it?
I mean,
Let's check.
she's reading it. Roll an insight check.
Okay. No, she's really good at keeping a straight face. I rolled bad again. 16.
You have no idea.
Damn. Well, she's still
Well,
gonna
no,
go.
it's 16. There's a chance. No, there isn't.
Aw.
I rolled a natural 20.
Oh my god. Stone face.
Yeah, it's
reading
completely stone
Goblin
faced.
book.
She like she closes the book and looks up.
How's it? How is it?
It's all right.
God damn it. I wish I could read her face. We get food. We go to bed. Well, we go take a bath and then we go to bed.
Okay. You have a lot of time. Like, you are mentally done for the day, but you still have time. Like, after you get back from getting street food, basically, which are a common and popular street food, as Lilith called them, kebabs, are basically these hot pita rolls filled with meat and vegetables and sauce. And
Yum.
They're very good, and they go down easy. So you come back with like these basically paper wrapped.
I'm picturing euros.
Yeah, it's a lot like a euro.
Oh.
Um, yeah, everyone seems content with them. Anscombe, like, insists, why don't we see, if there's any entertainment or music,
Right.
something.
Take the night off.
Going a little crazy up here.
I only have 2 hours left on the last scroll, and then we can sell them tomorrow, and I can see how much I'm actually going to make off of these.
I'm sure we're going to make plenty.
I hope so.
You're worrying too much.
That's what I do.
You're great at it. Come on. And he, like, ushers you and anybody else who wants to come down out onto the main tavern floor. There's lots going on down here. And this is the wrong music.
The first thing that Lorna would try to do when they get down there is, like, notice if anyone notices them longer than a passing glance. Just in case.
Roll an insight check.
Okay, hopefully it's better than what I did on Skolna.
Hopefully.
It is 19.
Okay, with a 19, no one's really given you
Other than her being a Triton.
I mean, how long can you be Triton for? I mean, it took you maybe like 20
Hour
minutes
total.
to get food. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Roll me a D100.
Okay. 43.
43. Yeah, no one's really... no one's giving you guys a whole lot of attention. Roll me an investigation check.
Okay. 13. Not great.
There's a lot of tables, all of them with all sorts of people at them. Various, what look like artisans and craftsmen and traders. It looks like it's like the upper middle class and the middle class are just kind of piling in here right now. No one seems to give you guys a second look. But you do notice that there is a minstrel band that's collecting on the stage. And as you emerge, Cavi kind of chirps up and he says, well, hey there. Did you all decide too much of a night in is getting a little dreary?
You could say that.
It's good to see you out on the floor. I have good news. No one's come by looking for you since that one.
That's great. A relief.
Can I interest you all in maybe some ale or lemonade?
Yes.
Okay. And he
This
pours
is a
out.
let loose kind of night.
He pours you out a couple pitchers
You
of
better
ale.
believe Lorna's gonna dance. She sort of learned how to let loose with Stoic at the Mary Guard aeons ago, where he was like, we're not following any dance moves like that you've learned
Yeah, like relax.
formally. You're just gonna dance how you feel. You're gonna try to put that into practice.
Okay. So you kind of chill out a little tonight and see if you can have a good time. Okay, cool. All right. One moment. Okay. And this one. Okay. It doesn't take long before the band starts to play. It is... well... it's upbeat tavern music.
Boy,
Ignore that.
getting turned.
Yeah.
She'll dance with every person in her party at least once, minus Skolna. I'm sure she cannot be convinced to dance.
You could try, but no, Skolna, like, as soon as you, like, approach, Skolna's like, like just slowly shaking her head.
And Lorna would like be like, yeah, I'm actually going this way. Like kind of like spin on her heel and find somebody else who's trying to push it.
Everybody else in your party is willing to dance with you, except Lilith might need a little persuading.
You better believe I'm gonna try. We're
How do
friends
you?
now, damn it.
What do you say? How do you convince Lilith?
Well, Lorna would buy her a drink and just like plop it down and say, "Consider it a bribe."
Good start. What do you want?
She'll make like a exaggerated hand gesture toward the band.
Oh, fuck me. You want to dance?
Have you ever considered just having a good time?
Every day of my life.
Well, one's right in front of you.
You and I have such different ideas of a good time.
And yet we still did that thing together. And I thought that was fun.
What, haze?
Mine's the... Yeah.
Okay.
But this is like a couple steps down in intensity.
A few, yeah. All right. I don't know how to dance.
So?
So I'm going to just stand out there looking like a big dumbass while you're
Nah,
dancing
just
around
follow
me.
my lead.
Roll a persuasion check.
You're quick on your feet. Imagine to manage it. Persuasion. Oh, come on. 17. Not bad.
Look. Fuck.
Or it's just like giddy. Come on.
Oh my god, you're so annoying. My parents...
Yeah.
My parents tried to teach me how to do all those fucking proper steps constantly. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's not for me.
And that's not what this is. I was taught that same shit, and I'm breaking out of that mold that they forced me into.
She just like raises an eyebrow at you.
I promise I'll look dumber than you.
Okay. Let's see it. She stands up.
Yes.
Roll a performance.
And Lorna's gonna try her best to like lead Lilith into some semblance of rhythm. Is it performance?
Okay. Lilith.
My promise of looking dumber does pan out because I rolled a 9.
Lilith rolled a 4.
I also rolled a 4.
Total.
Oh.
Okay. Lilith does not know what she's doing. She tries to follow what you're doing, and she basically is just like stepping back and forth while you're
It's like a
dancing
middle school
around.
dance.
Yeah.
While everybody jumps up and
Like
down.
it's a much faster paced song than that, but she doesn't know what to do. She's trying, which is something.
That is the much more important aspect of this.
Roll me a general charisma roll.
Okay. Separate the men from the boys. 13.
After the song, after you get Lilith to dance with you, she smiles a little bit and she says, "We're never doing that again."
Okay. But I appreciate you trying.
I gave it a shot.
I had fun.
I'm glad. And she, like, looks for the table and she says, "Yeah, I'm going to sit down."
Okay, I'll buy you a shot.
Okay. That sounds good.
Payment for the humiliation.
When you go to buy the shot, she says, "Violet Rye."
Is that the name of the shot?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. That was like your real name.
No.
You're just deciding to tell me that now.
Lilith is my real name. What the fuck?
I knew that. Mostly.
All right.
She buys the shot. She'll get one for herself too.
When you do that, Cavi's like, "Oh, all right." Here you go. And you are handed a small clear glass shot with it's like a very pale lavender but transparent liquor in the shot. It smells very sweet. It smells like candy.
And she got 2?
Yeah. Lilith
Good.
takes hers.
She'll bring it and do the shot with her.
Roll con save.
Cool. 13.
13. It burns. This is not a pleasant shot.
So sweet. Why does it hurt?
Lilith is also coughing, and she says, "That's the point."
Oh.
You are buzzed.
Yeah.
And also your skin's a little purple.
Oh. Did you know this would happen?
Yeah. And her
Why
skin
didn't you
is
tell
also
me?
a little purple.
I'm like a purple triton.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
fuck it.
it's like, why not? It looks a little weird, that's all. As soon as that's finished, like, Tier, like, basically, like, shoulders up next to both of you and says, "Hi, we got a card game going. Are you gonna play?"
By that you mean, am I going to lose? And the answer is yes.
Good enough for me. What about you? And Lilith, like, looks over at Tier and then, "Sure, I guess. I don't know. What are we playing?" And he looks at between the two of you and he says, "Well, have you never been in a tavern before?"
I have. I just normally I'm drinking or dancing. I don't think I've played cards before.
Oh. It's Three Kings Poker.
Oh yes, of course.
Insight check.
Sure. I'm really good at deceiving.
You have to beat a
He's really
27.
good at perceiving. God, I rolled a 16 total. I rolled a 5.
Right.
I'm a plus 11. I just never roll good against him.
It's how it goes. Tier says, "Right, I'll show you how it works.
Okay.
We're just
Maybe
playing.
we won't even need to sell the scrolls, and we can just win all the money here.
We're playing for coppers.
Fuck.
No offense, Lorna, but we're not in any position to gamble away what money we have."
Okay. Yeah, that's probably right.
But you come and sit down at the table. Anscom and Nora are already there, as well as like 4 other just look like townsfolk, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They look very, very much salt of the earth. Like one of them is clearly like a fisherman who still has like overalls on, and they all greet you. You know, pretty.
Hello, I'm a fish.
The fisherman looks at you and he says, "Was that? Oh,
That's a joke.
I get it. Right."
In my culture, that's our idea of humor. She lies.
Like he doesn't seem to know how to laugh, so he just makes this awkward noise.
Or just having a great time.
Apparently
Making
so.
fishermen uncomfortable.
So, we can actually play this out, or you can just do a quick, like, roll.
I'll do
basically,
a
to
quick
pass the
roll.
time. Okay. Give me a D100.
Okay.
Or do you try to cheat?
No.
Okay.
It's just 2 bliss for that. 60.
Okay, give me an intelligence roll.
Okay. I'm buzzed. Do I have any detriment to that, or am I still rolling?
You're just in a good mood. It's not a disadvantage yet.
Okay. Yet.
If
I
you were in
rolled a-
combat, there'd be some more serious things, but...
Yeah.
A 9!
Cards. Yeah, I didn't roll great. She's like, I don't fucking know what this game is.
Uh,
She's smart, but she's never played it before.
I think... Oh. Anscom rolled a 6. So I think the answer here is he's distracted by, like, squeezing your thighs under the table over and over.
Hey.
Yeah, he's not paying attention.
What's with you and breaking my focus?
What? Just because I can.
Oh, right. Of course.
Nobody else can.
What if they tried?
That would be a grave mistake.
Good answer.
You know what they say about dwarves, right?
They're short.
We all know that. We know what they say about dwarves. Is once they've found gold, they'll never let it go.
I like that, but you're not a dwarf.
And this, maybe I am. I wouldn't know. I
You're
don't
way
remember.
too big for that.
Okay. Norre cleans the table. Like,
She's built for this.
Norre rolled like a natural 20, and everybody's rolled like 10s. So, like, not even close.
Scoops all the coppers.
After, like, 2 rounds, Norre's like, are you all even try it?
I don't know.
Lilith, like, basically looks up at Norre and says, I wanted you to feel like you were, doing real good.
Oh.
And Norre, like, looks at Lilith, and she says,
how dare you?
yeah, Norre says, next time, bring your A game, because this is a joke. And the trap, like, basically the commoners are, like, looking between each other, and one of them says, hey, I'm sorry, I haven't played in a long time. And Norre's like, oh, no, you're fine. I know her. She's a bitch.
This bitch.
I will say you play, like, a few hands. You, in total, lose 4 copper.
Ah, I'm broke. I kind of am, though.
Do you have 4 copper to lose?
Yes.
Okay. At the end of the night, you've played cards, you've danced with every member of your party except Skullnown. And you're buzzed and tired.
Yes.
Okay, so we push on to your long rest. As you and Anscombe lay down to try and get some sleep, I do require another wisdom saving throw.
I was worried you'd say that.
Yeah, I thought you might be.
That is a 9, my friend.
Okay.
But I'm in a protected room, so it's fine. Like, why would I have to be worried about anything?
Yeah, you're in a protected room. You dream.
I don't want to be just...
You sleep a dreamless sleep. In the middle of the night, you are awoken suddenly by a horrible feeling. Your hair is standing up on the back of your neck. You swear that across the room, on the wall, you see a pair of slanted, narrow, glowing red eyes.
Uh-huh. Does that remind me of anything? Have I seen anything like that before?
Yeah. They look exactly like Hushen's eyes.
But this form isn't big like him, right?
You don't see anything but the eyes.
Couldn't fit in this room. Thinking back to Lily, warning her that Hushen, would probably remember this thing between them. I think she would sit up and she would kind of like try to swallow the knee-jerk reaction of fear that she has. And just say, are you just going to linger? Or are you going to have a conversation?
You hear a voice in your mind, and as it speaks to you, you get the feeling of pressing your hand on something cold, on stone. Your hand is down at your side, but you feel as though you've reached out and touched something, like a stone wall. And as you did, you feel energy swirling up your arm, but it is a cold and ghastly energy, as if wind is soaring out of that stone, intertwining its way up your arm as if tangling it. And as you feel that, you hear in your mind, Your sacrarium awaits. And
We
then
know.
you go to say anything, and you realize you've opened your eyes and you are laying in bed. Anscombe is next to you. You look at the wall where those eyes were, and they're not there.
Can I tell what time of day it is?
It's like the middle of the night. It's like 3 in the morning.
She just runs her hands through her hair. My sacrarium awaits. I mean, nothing's changed. It's always been where it is.
What? Like Anscombe, like turns and leans over, like, what did you say?
I'm just doing that thing where I talk to myself.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
Anscombe, by you not saying yes, like turns and like sits up. What happened?
I had a dream. Um, Lily told me that Hushen wouldn't let this whole break our contract by going to his prince and forming a bond with him lightly. Uh, I think he was trying to warn me. Hushen was. I think he was either trying to warn me or threaten me just now.
How? What?
He was here, or at least in my dream he was. And he told me that my sacrarium awaits. I don't think I told you what that is.
No. But
Ugh.
wait a minute. You said he was here in your sleep? Lorna,
Yeah,
Anscombe like brushes your hair over your cheek. He says, we're in a protected room.
I know.
Sometimes a dream
That's why
is just a dream.
it didn't feel like that. It felt. My dreams are never just dreams.
I believe you, but maybe this time it is. Just, I was reading up on the protections in this room, and I don't think anything could get a spell or influence here.
Maybe it was just my subconscious.
Maybe.
Maybe I'm thinking about having to deal with this thing, this aquarium, eventually.
You're really the most intelligent woman I've ever met. But you also have so many anxieties. There's no way they're not weighing on you.
That's probably fair.
I'm not saying to discount it, but I think in this case, maybe it is just your mind playing tricks on you.
If it becomes a pattern, then maybe I'll delve into it. But I was told by Lily that Hushen wouldn't do anything while I was still alive. Likely couldn't do anything.
That's good news.
Mm-hmm. At
You say that
least
like
until I
it's not.
die.
Oh. Ugh. Okay, well, what can. Alright.
I don't think we can do anything about it. At least not right now, tonight, where we are right here.
Well, if we find there's something we can do, we'll do it together.
Yeah.
Sorry your mind is cruel to you.
I'm sorry, yours is the same way sometimes.
Yeah? And he just kind of like lays back and thumps his head on the pillow. But
Hmm.
before he like lets another moment pass to dwell on it, you feel his hand like slide underneath your back, and then he just yanks you over onto him.
Oh, well, this is an improvement.
Yep, it is.
I'll probably sleep.
You better. We have
Hopefully
a
no
lot.
dreams.
We have more scrolls to make.
Just one, and it's mostly, well, it's somewhat done, but
We might have to make another. Keep that in mind.
yeah, we're running out of time.
It's all right. We'll get this done. And if there's anybody who can protect you from that asshole, it's that other asshole.
Right. I thought you were talking about yourself for a second.
Maybe I was.
Good
Good night, Lorna.
night.
I'll be here when you wake up.
I know.
Roll me another wisdom saving throw, this time an advantage.
Aw. Anscombe has an aura. 17.
You go back to sleep peacefully. And you do not have another experience.
Fucking fox. Get out of my room.
As you go back to sleep.
Better things to do.
Yep. With one more scroll left to do, and then the target on the near horizon, that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Lorna knows how to pack her downtime full of stuff.
For real.
Yeah.
All right. Hope you had a good time. Thank you for playing with me. And to those of you who are at home or at work watching, hi Pen, hi class.
Hi, Ben.
Hi
Hi,
Emily.
Emily. Hi, class. Hi, Sal sometimes.
We love you all, and I wish you a good night.